For maximum picture quality, it may be necessary to adjust the tracking control on your VCR.
And welcome once again. Next time you're at a party where everyone's got paper cups, when they finish with them, collect them and bring them to life. Come and have a look at this. Now collect a stack of paper cups, as many as you can. I suppose it depends how many people are at your party, really. And the idea is to make a hole in the bottom of each cup. And I found the best way of doing this is to give it a short, sharp stab with a pencil or a biro. And that makes a perfect hole for threading some string through. Then take a piece of string and make a knot at the end of it, and it needs to be a nice long piece of string, and then start to thread it through your cups, and just thread it into the cup and through the bottom like this. Now it can be a bit fiddly, so just bear with me. There it goes, right through the bottom, and pull it all the way through like that, so you've then got the knot on the inside. And then stand it up and make another knot at the other side of the bottom of the cup. So you've got two knots, one inside the cup and one outside at the bottom. And then just mark a point, and just see it there, just marked it on the string, 6 centimetres away from the cup. And the idea is to do the whole thing again. Make a knot, thread on a cup, and then make another knot. And go through all of your cups doing the same thing every 6 centimetres, and when you're finished, you'll have something that looks like this. I suppose it looks a bit like a dead cup worm, really, doesn't it? Quite sad. And if you've got any string hanging over at the end, just trim that off and tie a knot at the end. And then take 2 more cups and stick them together. And what I've done is I've taped these 2 together and put a stapler in there. And you can glue them. And then put a loop of tape on the bottom, like that. And then just stick those cups to your second to last cup in your dead worm. Just press it down firmly. And you can see what I'm doing here, can't you? There you have a sort of face on your dead cup worm. And then, whoops, and then the idea is to bring it to life. And the way to do that is to just attach it to a cane with 3 pieces of string. 1 piece at the front that's in a loop around the face or the eyes there, and then 1 near to the back, not quite at the back, so you've got a nice long tail dangling at the back there, and then 1 piece of string between those 2. And let me just give you a tip. Make that middle piece of string slightly shorter than the other 2, so it's got sort of a hump back. And then, with a flick of the wrist and a twist of the cane, he starts to nod at you. Look at that. Weird effect, isn't it, as he wiggles away there. And don't leave him bare like that. You can actually paint a design on him using acrylic paint or poster paint mixed with PVA glue. And you can do any design you like. Make it big, bright and colourful. You could even put in some paper eyes. And why not snip in some eyelashes? Try it yourself. Bring some paper cups to life and make a paper cup puppet.
Oh, they look fantastic. Hello, it's me again, the head. That is a very nice use for old paper cups. But remember to leave that 6 centimetre gap between the knots. That will allow your puppet to move. Hey, you want to see my paper cup puppet? Well, I only had 1 cup. oh yes, oh yes! Of course, I am a bit of a children's entertainer myself, though I mainly specialise in tap dancing.
Have you ever noticed all the different types of paint you can buy? Well, there's powder paint, there's poster paint, there's the good old watercolour paint, and then down in the tubes, you've got oil paint, and over here, on my big palette, you've got acrylic paint. And what have they all got in common? You can paint pictures with all of them, but they're all different in their own way. And I guess the most delicate paint of all is probably watercolour. Now, if you just charge your brush up with plenty of water and just stroke the top of the watercolour palette there, you're getting your paint set, and then just paint it on in a thin wash like that. And it's a good idea just to get plenty of water on your brush, and you get this lovely sort of delicate wash that goes over your picture. And you notice one of the advantages of watercolour paint is it's actually see-through, so you can still see your sketch through it, which makes it brilliant for doing quick sketches out in the field. And if you just charge your brush up with even more paint, you get some great sort of, look at the way it's sort of, the colours are bleeding into each other there. And it's all running into each other. Get some great effects there, and just do the side of the house like that. Very quick and very easy to paint with. I think watercolours are one of my favourites. Now, one of the great things about powder paint or poster paint is you can mix them very thinly with a lot of water, and you get those lovely washes like watercolour, or you can mix them rather thickly and just charge up your brush with plenty of paint, and you get this fantastic, thick, rich coat. Look at that. Real good cover of paint there, and again, just plenty of paint on. And this paint is really good for painting pictures where you want a really thick cover of paint. Or if you want to do a poster painting, hence the term poster paint. And you can also use it straight from the bottle. Now, you've seen me do this a couple of times. Watch this. Just squeeze it out of one of those ready-mixed poster paint bottles. And again, a great effect in itself. Look at that. And I think one of the most versatile paints is probably acrylic paint. Now, the good thing about acrylic paint is you can charge your brush up with plenty of water and just mix a very thin wash, see, just like watercolour. Or if you do it really thickly, you get this great sort of thick covering. But the very best thing about acrylic paint is that it'll go on almost anything. And just watch this. There's a trainer that I've started to paint up here, and it's just a case of dabbing on your acrylic paint. And it's best if you're going to paint on something like this to do it nice and thick. And when it dries, it'll stay on because it forms like a plastic skin over whatever it is that you're painting. Look at that. And even when your foot bends in the sneaker or trainer, it won't come off.
My name is Lucy and I made a billboard. I made it by concertining a piece of card. Then I cut 2 pictures from a magazine into strips and stuck them alternately onto the card. My name is Erin. I made this billboard out of 2 pictures. These pictures are a lime and Carol Vorderman.
Ah, great art attack. And what a weird effect. A sort of double vision billboard. Now, the way to do this is take 2 pictures from a magazine and cut them to the same size, and then lay them side by side on a piece of white paper or thin card. And then very carefully draw with a ruler around the edges, the outside edges of your 2 pictures. And then cut the card out to that size, like that. And then divide your card into 8 equal strips. And then measure the width of the strips and cut your photographs out to the same size. So each picture is now in 4 strips. When you've done that, take a pair of scissors and some tape and just very carefully tape your scissors closed, just wrapping your tape around the scissors so they stay shut. And then with a ruler and holding your scissors like a pen, just score along all the lines on your paper. And you just need to press firmly onto your paper for this. And just be careful when you're doing this. Or if in doubt, get someone to help you out with it. And just, when you get to the end, like that, take the scissors away, and then lay the first strip from your first picture down onto your paper. Then the first strip from your second picture next to it, and then back to the first picture for its second strip, and back to the second picture. And then just keep going, alternating the strips of your pictures, and just lay them down onto your paper until the paper is completely covered and you've used all your strips up. And you can do it a bit more neatly than I've done. And then when you've got all your strips on your paper, glue them down, and you have something that looks like that. And then you have to do a concertina fold. Now, I call this a fold and turn. Watch this. You turn it around and you go fold, and then you turn it over, fold, and then turn it over, fold and turn. And you just keep going, folding along the strips in a sort of concertina shape. When you get to the end, just press it down flat, open it out, and you'll have something that looks like that. And then just back it onto some backing paper or board. And what does it look like? Well, it depends which way you look at it. One way, or maybe look at it the other way. I'll do that back again. There it goes. Look at that. And you can choose any picture you like. This is a good one. Watch this. Hold it one way, so you see the picture, and then you turn it, and you see it the other way. Look at that. Try it yourself. A sort of double vision billboard. And I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.